Larry Frank on Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special episode of Bullseye. My name is Larry Frank. I'm your host for tonight's show, and I'm just updating a couple of things as we are getting some things fresh off the wire from you. I want to make sure that we keep everything fresh for you. For those of you that have not heard, an unbelievable game earlier today. The U.S. women's basketball team defeated Tulane 51-47. That's right, 51-47. And believe me, when this game started, folks, I'm going to tell you, it was a lot of different roller coaster emotions going on through this game. You watch this entire game and you're like, come on, what's going to happen? They look like they started off strong. They got some couple quick baskets. You think their shooting woes are all over with, and then all of a sudden it hits again. They go the first three quarters shooting under 20% and just an awful display of shooting by this team. Once again, as I watched the game and I was watching it, I'm saying to myself, what is going on here? We have to make some adjustments. Why isn't Coach Fernandez making these necessary adjustments to have us and give us this opportunity to win? Then all of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, Coach Fernandez proves why he's the coach of the year in the AAC. He makes the proper adjustments. All throughout the game, it looked like this team was running and just shooting the ball up. Not that they were terrible shots, but they weren't well-controlled shots through the first three quarters. Seems like they were rushing to get the shots off and not utilizing the clock well enough. And then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, and what you got to do, folks, is when your outside game, and this is the part that was confusing me, when your outside game isn't working and it's as off as USF's been the first, especially the last couple of games, you think they would try to adjust something and go a little more inside. Well, in the fourth quarter, that's exactly what Coach Fernandez did, and that's exactly why he deserves credit. The whole single game, they're not going. I'm going, why don't you go into Manunga? Why don't you stop shooting from the outside? They're playing a zone, it looks like, out there. You go inside and you start feeding Manunga the ball, let him get a couple of baskets, and then it'll open up some shots where these players can get maybe a little bit better look at the shot and not feel so rushed. Well, Coach Fernandez did that to a T. Manunga scores a couple of points underneath. Next thing you know, they dish it out to Maria Alvarez for three, baby. She gets three times in the fourth quarter. This team goes on fire in the fourth quarter and wins this game. Well-deserved win. You got to give credit. We talk every Tuesday night about the importance of free throws. And, in the first three quarters, they only went to the line. Listen to this number, fans. They only went to the line two times is all that the USF basketball team went to the line. Then Sydney Harvey gets fouled, hits 2 big free throws. Elisa Pinzan, I call Mrs. Pressure because she is so good down the stretch hitting these free throws, goes 6 for 6. I believe it might be in less than a minute span. It might be actually in a 30-second span where she actually goes 6 for 6 and the Bulls win the game. And I'll tell you what, as soon as I saw them going inside of Manunga and switching their game around, making some adjustments, then you saw Manunga. She was using the body perfectly, going up for the basket, and really being a force under the basket. That was by far one of the best. I can tell you some of the best coaching adjustments that I've seen in a single quarter, and it worked. That's what you got to do. If you're not hitting from the outside, you got to push the ball inside and try something different. Then after they get a little rest outside, it opens up the outside game a little bit more. And everybody, Sinicki, Alvarez, Harvey, everybody was coming out to play here in this game. Now, when you look at the statistics, yes, they only shot 27%, but what an unbelievable fourth quarter. When it counted, they came through. Then all of a sudden, 3-pointers, 9 of 30. You know that 3 or 4 of Maria Alvarez's, and I call her Miss Clutch because every time they need a spark, it seems like Maria Alvarez is pumping in a 3 somewhere. She hits 3 of them in the fourth quarter, 4 of them on the day. Just incredible. And then we talked about free throws. They only went to the line twice. Listen to this, folks. They missed the first 2 free throws. Did not miss another free throw the entire games. Nobody argue with me when I say free throws wins or loses game. This game was won at the free throw line, and in many other aspects. Give Bethy Manunga all the credit in the world. She fouls out with about a minute and a half left in the game. She had 8 points and 18 rebounds, but some of those, I want to say 4 of them came in the fourth quarter. Big aggressive points. She's ripping down rebounds. This was the team we're used to in the fourth quarter. Great job by Coach Fernandez. Great job by all the basketball players on the court of executing this. You look at this, you see Leverett had 8 rebounds. Then Pazan, 12 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. Harvey, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Maria Alvarez made 4 3-pointers, had 2 assists. Brabenkova had a huge rebound in that game as well, and so did Jodeo. So this entire team definitely deserves everything that happened to him. And, on behalf of all of us here at Bullseye, we want to congratulate the women's. They will play tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time versus the winner, I believe, of UCF and Houston. Let me see if I can get an update on that score real quick. That right now looks like UCF has beaten Houston 61-39, if I see that correctly. So that would mean, if I'm correct, folks, that let me go here. We are playing the Warren I-4 moves to Texas tomorrow night. Let me see if I have it here. As I told you, we will be doing updates as we go. It says to be determined, but I believe that tomorrow's game will be versus UCF. We will find out a little bit later, but if our reports are telling us correctly, UCF and USF will go at it tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So lots and lots of news. And like I said, folks, it wasn't a pretty game. they were up huge, 10-0 in this game. Then they're losing 23-17 in the first period. You wonder, they just got cold, and it's the same stuff. And then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter comes, and I swear I'm watching this game on ESPN Plus, and I'm going, Coach, come on, you need to make some adjustment. And gosh, what great move. The only thing I would say that I would have liked to see more of in this game, and Coach Fernandez, a great coach, as always, is I thought towards the end they started playing much more aggressive defense. And I think that's what allowed them to get back into that game. I would like to go ahead and see them do that for longer stretches of time. Maybe run a half-court press. Maybe go ahead and do a full-court press sometimes and put some pressure. This is going to be a tough game. In fact, if it is UCF tomorrow, it's going to be a tough game. And you look in this game today, they out-rebounded Tulane 49-36, which we said last night they would have to do. They beat them on the offensive boards 20-12. Only thing, what another nemesis in USF side is they turned over the ball 18 times in this game. Going to have to do a much better job of that tomorrow night. But ladies and gentlemen, a hard-fought win by your USF Bulls earlier today. Give credit where credit is due. Like I said, first three quarters were nothing pretty, but believe me, the artist came out, Jose Fernandez, in quarter four, and put this team in a position to battle, keep the handle the adversity, keep their composure, and they ended up winning by the score of 51-47. So we want to go ahead and congratulate them. If any of you are on and you want to make some quick comments in regards to the women's basketball, there is a call-in number. This is not a timed show tonight. This is a special report. We wanted to congratulate them. Once again, if you're just joining us, we want to congratulate the women's USF women's basketball team on their victory today over Tulane, which puts them in the finals tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We believe it's going to be versus UCF. This is a game that came down to hitting free throws at the end. Elisa Pazan, 6 for 6 down the stretch. Sydney Harvey, 2 for 2. The Bulls in the fourth quarter hit 8 free throws on 8 free throw attempts for 100% in the fourth quarter, which allowed them to win. But there was more than that. Manunga underneath on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball came alive. She was alive all game on the rebounding side, but came alive on the offensive side, scoring a couple of baskets, which is huge because it opened up the outside game. Maria Alvarez said, okay, dish it out to me, Manunga. Share the fun with me. Then she pops in 3 3-pointers in the fourth quarter for a terrific win. And you got to see an offense in that fourth quarter, which was not one-dimensional like it usually is. We talked about living and dying by the threes. That's what they were doing, but it wasn't helping them today. So they needed to make some adjustments, and when they did, and when Pinzan drove a couple of times, when you had Saniki a couple of times, you have Manunga with a couple of big baskets in the paint underneath. Just an incredible fourth quarter. I don't care what the percentages say. They played their hearts out in that fourth quarter, and they were able to overcome the deficit because of it. Great job by the coaching staff to put in the right defenses on the inbound passes. A big, I call it an interception there near the end. Sealed the game. Just great pressure shooting by Pazan and Harvey. This was a well-played fourth quarter by the Bulls. They need to carry this on over to tomorrow night, and they need to do tomorrow night to win this game. And I'm trying to get an update. I do believe they have confirmed that it is UCF tomorrow. But they will update that in a minute. But I'm finding out that UCF did beat Houston. So it should be UCF versus USF tomorrow night in the AAC final. The Warren I-4 moves to Fort Worth, Texas tomorrow night. And if they want to beat UCF tomorrow night, they need to do whatever they need that is working. So if the outside game is not working like today, they need to adjust and work the ball inside more. That way they can push these defenders inside enough where they can dish that ball back out to Alvarez or Pinzan or whoever, and they can pop a couple of threes and have a better look. I talked about a control look earlier in the show. And what I'm talking about, fans that know basketball, is you can run and gun and still have an open shot, but that's not necessarily control. I would like to see them go down there, and running is good if you're hitting your shots. You're not hitting your shot, stop running the ball, move it down there maybe fast, but then slow it down and move the ball around. I thought they started moving the ball around very well in the fourth quarter inside of Manunga. Manunga a couple times even dished it back out like we were talking about last night, and it was a thing of beauty. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are watching on our Bullseye platform or Bulls Hoops, this is a special presentation of Bullseye women's basketball team advances to the AAC finals. Also want to remind you that the men's basketball team opens up versus Temple tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon as well. So we will keep you updated. And then, of course, tomorrow night, 10 o'clock p.m., the women's will play in the AAC finals. We want to wish the Bulls the best of luck, both the men and the women, in tomorrow's game. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, this has been a special report from Bullseye on women's basketball. We want to thank you very much, once again, for being supporters of USF and being members of Bullseye, our USF Facebook group. For all of you out there, thank you so much. Once again, this was a special report. We will return you back to your regularly scheduled programming.